Some TV, the pulse of the nation.
In today's digital age, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success. Turabo Business School is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders with the skills they need to thrive. We present you our special computer training exclusively designed for SS3 and GSS3 graduates. Our comprehensive program covers a wide range of topics, including Microsoft Word, master the art of document creation and editing, unlock the power of data analysis and visualization, Microsoft Access, learn to manage and analyze database, Microsoft PowerPoint.
Good afternoon and welcome to Some TV Business Daily. I am Abraham Maina Joda. Today we look at the big forces shaping Nigeria's economy, from the soaring price of steel, rods disrupting the construction industry, to strong corporate earnings from Transcorp hotels, easing treasury yields, and renewed investor appetite across sectors. We will also track Africa's fintech and cryptocurrency momentum, the federal government's new youth employment initiative, and Nigeria's $410 billion renewable energy ambition. As always, we bring you not only the facts, but also the analysis, what these numbers mean for business owners, investors, and households. Let's go straight to the news now. Looking at the steel crisis, building at a cost, and Nigeria's construction sector is under intense cost pressure as steel rod prices have risen by more than 200% in just 2 years. According to a market survey by Naramatics, smaller size rods between 10 and 16 millimeters have surged by 210% since 2023, while larger 32 millimeter rods climbed 175%. So the price of a 10 millimeter rod that cost around 335,000 per ton in 2023 now sells for 1.04 million in 2025. A trader in Ikorodu, Lagos, Boyega Adewale links the increase to exchange rate volatility and Nigeria's heavy reliance on imported billets and scrap. The naira fluctuation, especially since 2023, has driven up cost of nearly all imported components, from reinforcement rods to roofing sheets, forcing contractors to revise budgets or suspend projects. This is more than just inflation, it's an industry capacity problem. Nigeria has roughly 3 major integrated steel producers, yet the local output meets less than 30% of demand. So without our local smelting and beneficiation construction, we continue to import inflation. Analysts warn the ripple effect is serious, from housing affordability to public infrastructure delays. So if the government's infrastructure renewal plan is to stay on track, backward integration and policy stability will be critical to bring steel prices down. To the next story here, we have hospitality on the rise. Transcorp Hotels delivers record strongest quarter yet, reporting a 49% year-on-year revenue growth for Q3 2025. Revenue climbed to 72.31 billion from 48.49 billion in Q3 last year. Profit before tax rose to 38%, from 38% to 22.4 billion, with a gross profit margin of 76%, its best in 5 years. Chairman Emmanuel Norum credited the results to cost discipline and operational efficiency, while CEO Uzo Shogwe highlighted continuing investments in customer experience and new facilities, including a 5,000-seat event center in Abuja. This performance signals a rebound in Nigeria's hospitality industry. After the pandemic slump, business travel, conferences, and local tourism have recovered. Transcorp's success also illustrates how well-run indigenous brands can compete regionally. By positioning itself as West Africa's preferred convention hub, the company taps into Nigeria's growing meetings and events economy. However, energy costs and foreign exchange constraints remain major risks for hoteliers across the country. Going to Treasury bills at its use ease amid strong demand. Nigeria's fixed income market opened the week with a modest decline in Treasury bill and OMO yields as demand for short-term government securities remained strong. Yields on Nigeria's Treasury bills dropped by an average of 3 basic points across maturities, with the 6th November 2025 bill closing at 16.60%. OMO bills followed the same trend. The 4th November 2025 OMO paper closed at 20.63%. So federal government bonds traded mixed, with benchmark tenors largely unchanged. The easing reflects renewed investor appetite for risk-free assets as inflation shows early signs of slowing. Still, the tight liquidity persists. Average system liquidity remains below 100 billion naira. So for the corporates, this means the cost of borrowing stays elevated, and for the CBN, maintaining a delicate balance between inflation control and growth support remains key. On to Coca-Cola. HBC acquires CCBA for $2.6 billion. This is straight to international corporate news with major African implications. Coca-Cola Hellenic Bottling Company has agreed to acquire a 75% stake in Coca-Cola Beverages Africa for $2.6 billion. The acquisition creates the world's second-largest Coca-Cola bottler by volume. Coca-Cola HBC will gain control of operations in 14 African countries, including South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. The company plans a secondary listing on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange to boost African investor participation, a major vote of confidence in Africa's consumer markets. With a youthful population and rising urban incomes, beverage consumption is growing faster than global averages. By expanding its African footprint, Coca-Cola HBC is not only strengthening distribution, but also bringing capital and technology to local bottlers. The challenge, however, remains currency risk and logistics, both of which continue to erode profit margins for fast-moving consumer goods companies operating across multiple markets. Then on to crypto. Crypto on the rise, Africa digital finance revolution. We see that Africa's cryptocurrency adoption is accelerating, driven by Bitcoin and stablecoins as alternative to volatile local currencies. Bitcoin accounts for 89% of crypto purchases in Nigeria and 74% in South Africa. Stablecoins now represent 43% of all crypto transactions in sub-Saharan Africa, according to chain analysis. MEX Exchange is expanding its African footprint with zero-fee trading on over 250 peers, copy trading tools for new users, and a $30 million education initiative to train young Africans in blockchain skills. Crypto is no longer a fringe investment, it's a financial tool for survival and trade. In country with foreign exchange shortages, stablecoins enable cross-border transactions for small businesses and freelancers. However, the lack of clear regulatory frameworks across many African nations means users remain vulnerable to fraud and volatility. Nigeria's central bank must strike a balance between consumer protection and innovation to harness the potential of digital currencies for financial inclusion. While Moniepoint raises $200 million in Series C funding. So coming back home in the fintech space, Nigeria's Moniepoint has secured an additional $90 million in funding, bringing the Series C round to a total of $200 million. Investors include Visa Incorporate, Development Partners International, Leapfrog Investments, and Google Africa Investment Fund. So Moniepoint, founded in 2015 by Tosin Enio Lorunda, provides payments and banking services to millions of merchants and users across Africa, processing over $250 billion in annual transactions. The company plans to expand its operation to Kenya and the United Kingdom, underscoring global ambitions. This funding confirms Nigeria's status as Africa's fintech hub. So Moniepoint's success illustrates how locally developed solutions are solving continental payment challenges. Yet the larger question remains, can Nigeria's financial infrastructure keep pace with these innovations? Without improvement in power, connectivity, and data security, growth could slow despite strong investor interest. But we also know that locally, right here in Taraba, we also have a very good fintech company in SuperCash, which has been contributing to the ease of doing business in Taraba State. So you can go to download the SuperCash app. It's a 4-in-1 app called SuperGo, which you can download and do your businesses. And it's seamless, it's innovative, and it's good. So back to the news. Judiciary meets blockchain towards digital justice. Nigeria's judiciary is exploring the use of blockchain technology to secure court documents, improve case management, and reduce forgery. At the National Judiciary Conference in Abuja, Chief Justice Olukayode Ariwoola emphasized that digitalization is no longer optional but essential to efficiency and trust. So blockchain in the courts could be a game changer. So we can imagine a system where all evidence, filings, and rulings are immutably stored and accessible, cutting out manipulation and loss. However, implementation will require strong cybersecurity measures and digital training for court staff. It will be a good one to see blockchain technology take over the court systems. The eras of files and paperwork are gone. Now it's a digitalized court system. I look forward to that. Not as a convict, but just someone observing in the news. Now going to Nigeria's $410 billion renewable energy ambition. Nigeria's renewable energy sector could unlock up to $410 billion in investment by 2060, according to the Ministry of Power. The Energy Transition Plan aims to achieve net zero emissions by 2060 through solar, hydro, wind, and bioenergy. Currently, less than 20% of Nigeria power comes from renewables, but global financing for green projects could attract $10 billion annually. Energy Minister Adebayo Adelabu said the private sector could drive our clean energy transformation. Government's role is to provide policy stability and incentives. So for investors, Nigeria's energy gap is not a liability, it's an opportunity. So if the country localized solar panel and battery production, the long-term saving could far outweigh the current fuel subsidies and grid losses. Now to the stock market. The market closes as mixed investors eye Q4 earnings. Nigeria market ended Tuesday's session mixed as investors balance profit-making with optimism ahead of Q4 earnings. The all-share index edged up 0.12% to close at 99,341.82 points, while market capitalization rose slightly to 56.9 trillion naira. Top gainers included Dangote Sugar, Seplat Energy, and Fidelity Bank, while Airtel Africa and Zenith Bank led the laggards. Despite macroeconomic headwinds, the market remains resilient. Analysts expect consumer goods and banking stocks to lead short-term gains. Now, Jubilee Fellowship empowers youths across sectors. The Nigeria Jubilee Fellows Program continues to show results with over 10,000 young professionals matched with host organizations nationwide. Launched in partnership with UNDP and the EU, the program provides 12-month paid fellowship for graduates under 30 to gain real industry experience. Many fellows have since transitioned to full-time employment, a clear sign of impact. Still, experts say scale and inclusion must be the next frontier, ensuring access for graduates in smaller towns and rural areas through digital placements. Now let's go to Nollywood's global renaissance. Streaming takes center stage. Nigeria's booming film industry continues its global expansion, contributing over 850 billion to GDP and employing nearly 1 million people. Recent blockbusters like Ijobon, Shantytown, and Anikulapo rise up the spectre as dominated streaming charts across Africa and Europe. Netflix director for Africa, Ben Amadasun, says Nigeria has become our biggest content hub in Africa. The creativity and storytelling are unmatched. So beyond entertainment, Nollywood represents soft power and economic diversification, creating jobs across music, fashion, and tourism. And to sustain momentum, the industry now needs stronger copyright protection and structured financing. To Global Tech Update, ChatGPT, VAT change, and digital economy outlook. Globally, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, has announced new VAT compliance rules for African and European users beginning November 2025. This signals a maturing regulatory environment for AI. In Nigeria, startups are integrating ChatGPT API into education, media, and analytics, proving that AI innovations and policy can coexist. For Nigeria, this is a reminder that digital policy must evolve not just to consume technology, but to create and export its market, wrap, and outlook. So the Nigeria All Share Index gained 1,516 points to close at 151,456.9, the highest in months. So the top gainers were SCOA and Omatech, while Living Trust and Cornell led the decliners. Overall, market sentiments remain bullish, with large cap stocks largely sustaining the momentum as more Q2 results rose in. As we close tonight, one theme connects every story: responsibility and resilience. From steel to fintech, energy to entertainment, Nigerians continue to show remarkable resilience and amid pressure. But resilience alone is not enough. True progress demands responsibility, from leaders who set policies to businesses that innovate and citizens who hold systems accountable. So take responsibility for your safety. That the FRSC Ember Month campaign says it applies to our economy too. So every entrepreneur who pay taxes, every investor who support local production, every youth who learns a new skill, each one contributes to Nigeria's future. And that collective responsibility is the foundation of sustainable growth. And before we go, I will say download your SuperGo app. I am Abraham Manajoda. Thank you for joining us on TV Business Daily. Have a wonderful day.
And reliable ride fast. Introducing SuperCab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast, and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the SuperCab app today. SuperCab, your ride, your way.